up and early. Gonna show you guys how we meal prep for the week. Today got chicken and a beef dish. So we're gonna do lunch and dinner. And usually breakfast I just do overnight oats. So here's all the ingredients we got. So we've got the chicken. What we got? 650 grams. We've got 500 grams of lean beef mince, that's 5% fat. We've got honey, we've got broccoli. So we're gonna do the broccoli, chicken, sweet potato together. That's gonna be the lunch. And then for dinner, we're gonna do the beef mince, courgettes, we got green beans, a bit of lime, and that should be it. I feel like we have one more thing in the beef mince. Yeah, that's it. And then with the chicken, I'm gonna, we've got the sweet potato with the chicken, and then I'm gonna marinate the chicken in the Greek yogurt. So let's get started. I think we're gonna start off with the chicken marinade, and then we'll take it from there. Of course, got all my containers. I've got quite a few more. I just need to grab them. But yeah, I think I'm gonna need total about 8-9 containers. All right, first things before we start anything, make sure we sharpen any knife we're using. Nice. Done. Next, what we're gonna do is we have to flatten the chicken breast. So what I usually do is slice these in half. I guess you call it butterflying, right? I should really put a wet towel underneath the chopping board, but it's okay. And what we're gonna do next, take the meat mallet, definitely worth investing in if you haven't. Same with the knife sharpener, always make sure you're flatten it because you want the chicken breast to all cook at the same time. So in order to get it to cook all in the same time, you have to make sure it's all the same size. Putting that in there, nice. Same again. Okay, let's try and do this. Guys, as you do this more and more, it becomes second nature. You'll be doing it as quick as me. And you might as well get used to it because you're going to be eating a lot of chicken. So you might as well get the technique down. Nice. See guys, just quick little mallet. Nice. Okay. And for the marinade, I'll show you guys in a second. I'm going to put in some Greek yogurt. So we're going to have kind of more of a yogurty marinade on the chicken. Gives it a bit of extra protein as well. Move this away. Next, obviously make sure you wash all your appliances. Let's roll this out just so we can get more juices out of it. Make sure you wash all your stuff between cutting chicken because I've just cut chicken on the other side. I've washed it, washed the knife. That's essential. You don't want to be cross-contaminating. Yeah. Squeeze in the lemon. Nice. Guys, it's literally this simple. Doesn't need to overcomplicate things. Get the seeds out. There is another technique I usually use to get the seeds out. It's just like avoid getting them in to begin with, but it's okay. All right, nice. Let's next, let's get some honey in there. Some natural sweetness to the chicken. Let's get some Greek yogurt. Nice. And then whack in, maybe a little bit more. Nice. Sorry guys, I didn't forget about the seasoning. So this is a premix that I've already made. I made a lot of homemade seasonings. So this is peri peri seasoning. So it's a mix that I've kind of made at home. This is always good to have stuff like this, but if not, just get some seasonings from the store. Putting in, let's say about, let's say a good 2 teaspoons. With that, of course, can't forget the salt and pepper. So, nice, good pinch of salt. Guys, don't be scared of salt, yeah? Salt's not bad for you, as long as you're eating it within moderation. And to be honest, if you're cooking at home mostly, you're never gonna overeat on salt. It's when you eat stuff out that they whack in so much salt, because as a society as a whole, people love salt and are addicted to salt. So if the food doesn't come with a lot of salt, especially when it's sitting on the, when it's sat on shelves for a bit, they obviously need to salt it more, because the salt obviously reduces its potency over the months. So obviously when you're cooking at home, you're kind of cooking, freezing, eating sooner than later. Your food's not sitting on the shelf. So usually, yeah, done. Nice. All done. I think that could use a bit of extra. Let's put slightly more seasoning, I think. I'm just gonna pour it in like that. Oh, a little teaspoon fell out. I think I need a bit more seasoning, because I can tell from the colour that slightly under seasoned. That's the beauty about cooking versus baking. Baking's like a precise science, whereas cooking, just taste as you go along. Obviously this is raw chicken, I'm not going to taste it, but I can adjust seasonings post cooking. So let's do some garlic. Let's put some fresh garlic in there. Once again guys, just because you're working out in the gym doesn't mean you can be scared of flavour. These type of stuff don't add much calories, seasonings and garlic, but they help massively with the flavour. Next, let's cut some garlic. Next with the garlic, I'm just using 2 cloves for about 650 grams. Oh, where did that go? I've lost my garlic. It's okay. Let me just put all of that in. I'm gonna have some garlicky smelling hands. I can't see where the garlic's gone, but it's okay. We'll do the next one. Guys, I've just lost the garlic in my chicken. Like half of the garlic went flying off the plane. So obviously be careful guys. And if you don't have this, then obviously you can just mince the garlic on a chopping board. But trust me guys, if you want to be cooking at home, it's definitely worth going out and getting yourself all the right tools, because trust me, it will save you time over the long term. So it's better just to get it now. You don't have to worry about it. That's going to go in the fridge, and next we'll get the veg started, and we're going to get that all roasted in the oven. Just to speed up the process, I'll cut up all the veg. With the green beans, broccoli, the sweet potato. Just going to leave it in there for 40 minutes just to roast. I've also prepped some tomatoes, so the tomatoes are going to go with the beef mince, which I'm going to cook now. Get the pan hot. Get the butter. Put the mince. We'll just break it up. Make sure you guys break this up. Yep, I know the pan looks like it's been used about 5,000 times, but you know what? That's where all the flavour is. If you don't have a pan that looks like this, then it's just not going to give you that nice natural seasoning from the pan. Alright, so nice, just going to let that sit for a bit, and then I'm going to drain the fat from it once it's cooked down, browned a bit. So give it about, let me turn up the heat a bit, give it about 6 minutes. Put the tomatoes in there, cleared out, scooped out a lot of the fat in it. So once this cooks, you'll see that there'll be like a puddle of fat left over. Scoop it out, whack in the tomatoes. I added some salt, some pepper. Nice. Gonna add cumin in there and paprika and chili powder, and then that'll be done. We can whack in the courgettes from the oven and the green beans in here. Put some of that cumin in. Some of that chili powder. And some paprika. Just a teaspoon of each should do. And then let those flavours get to know each other. The basmati rice as well. So I let that soak in water just to get the starch out, and it's just quicker to cook and a bit easier. Guys, really smell that, smell that. It smells amazing. It smells like taco meat now, to be honest, with the tomatoes and the beef mince. So I'm not going to let that overcook, because a lot of the times when I'm meal prepping, I like to undercook a bit, just so every time I know I'm going to be reheating in the microwave, it can cook it slightly more. So no need to overcook or cook it even to full doneness. You can just leave it just a little bit under, and that will cook more when you reheat it. My favourite time now. Food's done. Sorry. Now we get to portion it out. And I just let it sit out for a bit just to cool down before it goes in any fridge or the freezer. And usually I'll leave like 2 containers in the fridge, and then the rest of it, the other 3 will go in the freezer. Depends on my plans. Sometimes I'll just put 1 in the fridge. Nice. Tomatoes in, and then once the rice is ready from the cooker, I'm gonna add it in. All done, all portioned out. Lovely. Then we're gonna add all the veg in from the oven once it's done, which it should be done anytime soon now. All right, guys, we got the chicken out. It's been marinating for about 45 minutes. That's kind of the sweet spot. So about an hour. Obviously, ideal overnight, but who's got time for that? We got the barbecue preheated, got those grills going, and then just whack them on. I'm using obviously a grate just because the grill's a bit, after a while, gets let's say too flavorful, as I said before, a bit too seasoned, let's say. So it's nicer just to use this. Also makes it easier just to flip, handle the chicken. It's just easier. I found it easier. Of course, it's so easy, just whack it in. What I like to do with chicken specifically is close the lid. It does depend on the meat, but I find meats you want to cook quickly and keep it juicy, best thing is to keep it closed. Also gives it a bit more of that smoky flavour, with all that smoke building up in there and really giving it a nice extra smoky touch. So I'm going to leave that probably about 5 to 6 minutes on each side, flip it, and like I said, chicken, obviously you do want to cook it to a certain extent, but I don't mind it being tiny bit undercooked, just because I know every single time I'm going to eat this, I'm going to be reheating it in some way, so that should cook the chicken just slightly more when I'm reheating it. Tiny bit. Don't worry guys, I'm not eating raw chicken, but you get the idea. I feel meal prep generally, don't try and cook it too hard or too, like, to the point where you would sit down and eat it. Cook it slightly under, and then when you're reheating it, it still keeps that juiciness. Otherwise, you can have really dry chicken when you're microwaving it, reheating it before eating. Let's see. I've flipped it around once. Look at that. That yogurt gives it that nice creaminess. Oh, and added Greek yogurt gives it added protein, more protein in the chicken. Let's go. Tell me that is a boring meal prep. Tell me that is something you wouldn't want to eat. Every time you're going to open that container, it's going to smell incredible. It's going to smell like a fresh barbecue. Especially frozen, it actually holds on to a lot of that and actually develops more flavour. I'm excited because I'm going to have a portion today before I package it all up. I'm going to have it for lunch. I'm excited. That smell gets me. Woo. You know the chicken died for a good cause. Next, my favourite part. Packing it away into the containers. Ready for me to tuck in. I think I'm going to slice this chicken into strips and then it'll be ready to put in all the containers. Be easier to slice it beforehand because obviously once it's frozen and stuff, you don't want to be having to, when it reheats, slicing it, all that. So slice it from now, get it ready, all ready for you just to reheat and tuck in. Sliced it all up. Now I have to give you a taste test. Let's go. I couldn't resist. Wow. That yogurt really holds on to all that seasoning, which is good. So I feel like with chicken sometimes, you need something that binds the seasoning to the meat. And obviously I didn't use oils, so it's better to use Greek yogurt and really hold on to that peri-peri seasoning. And that garlic really punches you in the mouth on the way out. It's delicious. Can't wait to have this. This is, I'm not a big fan of sweet potato, but this and the broccoli, it's going to be bellissimo.